Are you here to listen to El Numero Uno? Or are you here to listen to the American Kaiju? From the land of the rising sun, you're listening to the Osaka Saint, the Saitama Superstar, the Mad Titan of Tokyo, the American Kaiju. Welcome to the Hogscast Red and Black.
Welcome back, Hogspack. You may have noticed, but Hogsman Podcast OG was missing this week. I am joined, I'm the American Kaiju, you know that. I'm joined by Mr. NPA, but did we reverse the name, or is it sticking for now?
You said not until the guest comes on, and the guest
not until the guest comes on. The guest is not here, and that is the producer's job. So
that's true.
Adam, is that happening next week? Do we have an answer on that?
I do not know if it's happening next week, but it probably is still happening. It's going to be a revolving door every week it's probably next week. It's going to be the Big Duke, where we just every week we say he'll be here next week. So
yeah, well, as you know, Big Duke couldn't make it this week, but he will be here next week. And then Mr. El Numero Uno, he's supposed to be joining our call a little bit later on.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I mean, the only option we had for Hogscast OG this week was for us to do it over Zoom, and he chose to not do it.
Well, as you can all tell, Adam is a little sniffly. He's taking it cautiously in the world that we live in right now, getting tested and staying away from people. He's got the sniffles.
If it were 2019, I would have been at Mike's yesterday to do the podcast. It wouldn't have been a big deal. But because now we live in this world where anytime someone coughs, have you just noticed, like, when you go to Walmart and you cough now, like, there's like a cavalcade of people stare at you like you just murdered somebody in the streets? It's just.
I was reading the other day and I heard my wife coughing in the other room. Like, what are you doing? Hey, what's happening?
It's so stupid because I get a cough. I get it. A cough is a symptom of COVID-19, but it's like. I have a cold. I know I have a cold. I know where I got the cold. I was fine on Monday, and then Tuesday morning, I woke up. Let me just put you in this perspective here. I sleep, no matter what time of the year it is, I sleep with a fan blowing in my face. It is in California right now about 50, 60 degrees at night, goes down to about 40. I have my windows open with the fan on blowing in my face. So that probably contributed to what was already happening, but nope. I'm almost 90% positive I do not have COVID. I don't go anywhere. I don't do anything. So,
well, I want you to know that we just lost 7 listeners. They don't want to catch it over their ear pods, and
we might lose some listeners in April if I go to Tampa for WrestleMania. We're gonna have a bunch of
a
bunch of people getting heat with me about that.
So you going to that party or what?
Oh, I'm going to just catch up with the NXT crew, which is, usually just a super spreader event anyway. So I'm just going to catch up with them and, we'll see how things go.
Well, I've got to tell you, I don't know if you're going to go to Mania. Have they released the ticket prices yet?
They haven't. There's been a rumor on wrestling Twitter that it's going to be March 1st when they release tickets. So I assume they'll announce that probably this weekend then if that's what they're going to do.
So I'm a huge baseball fan. I go to spring training every year.
Does have fans, by the way.
What's that?
Does have fans, by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it does have fans, by the way, to answer your question from last week.
Yes, thank you. I had planned on going to spring training this year. Tickets sold out in a matter of seconds. And, I sit on the grass, drink my beer on the grass, and eat a hot dog and just watch terrible baseball for 4 innings as they rotate through AA guys, single A pitchers, and their bullpen express.
Do you remember the joke I made at the minor league game we went to?
What's that?
We went to I forget the Lake Elsinore team. What's the name? Storm. Devin was the West Coast Wrestling Company heavyweight champion, and he decided to take the belt, and we went to a AAA baseball game.
We're promoting the show.
Yeah, we got a couple of pictures, and at one point, whatever. At one point, I turned to Devin and I said, all of these guys are the definitions of players to be named later.
That's right. That's exactly right. Actually, I think I was promoting the my upcoming at the time my upcoming championship match against Eddie Edwards.
That is true. And to be fair, and well, hilariously enough, Zach Wheeler was actually the pitcher
Are you
against the
serious?
Storm that day. Yeah.
Holy shit!
I
I don't
remember
remember that.
I remember them talking. I heard on the overhead speaker them talking about the pitcher. He's one of the Giants' best prospects at the time.
Nice.
And then I just kept track of the name, tried to remember the name.
Nice. Well, that's fantastic. I remember all the Padres on that team because they got traded 2 seconds later. Probably, thankfully, a good idea. But yeah, we weren't able to do the Hogscast OG. Adam wasn't feeling well, didn't want to do it in person. Mike didn't want to do it over Zoom. So Mike has kept the podcast going every time I haven't been able to. It didn't feel right to not do an episode. We had to keep the streak alive. So this is a combined OG and red and black just to keep the streak alive. Does that work?
Sure. You can change your background then.
I don't think I have the other one.
That's fine.
I don't think I have it. Anyway, it's interesting. You were saying that you're not feeling well. All of a sudden, I'm having issues here now. Just I think it's because you're breathing too close to the mic. So if you wouldn't mind covering your mouth or actually putting a piece of paper up over the bottom half of your face would be fine.
I could just throw a mask on if that make you feel better.
It'd make me feel a lot better. But if you could cover more your cheeks and nose and forehead and chin, neck.
So you just are making fun of me for being ugly now. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, you could use actually because we are doing this on YouTube, Hogsman Pod on YouTube, at Hogsman Pod on Twitter and Instagram. You could add a filter. You could do a silly cat face. I would actually that'd be fun. Or a pig. Do a hog. That'd be fantastic.
Maybe next time.
All right, next time it is. I think the next episode of the Hogscast OG might be Mike and I in person. We're supposed to be doing a taping this week, having some matches. So we might be able to do that over the weekend. But what I wanted to talk about, Adam, is we just had Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber is a crazy match, and I like it for a lot of reasons. I didn't watch this one, but I do like the match in general for a lot of reasons. I think it combines the excitement of the Royal Rumble with everyone's favorite cage match, right? Or a Hell in a Cell. It's kind of a best of both worlds, and you never know who's coming out next. I mean, you have a limited idea of who's coming out next. But it's very interesting. It's a very interesting topic. For me, I'm curious about what would be the 7 wonders of the wrestling world as far as wrestling matches go. And here's the reason why. For just the world, 7 wonders of the world, right? Though it's a list, it's a compilated list of just fantastic human achievement, whether it's architecture or what have you. There was an old 7 wonders of the world that included the Hanging Garden in Babylon and several others, but they're not there anymore. So there's a new list that it gets updated over time as these wonders of the world disappear. So here's what we have currently. The Great Wall of China, never to be outdone, right? I mean, we tried to build our own here in the US. It didn't quite hold up. I mean, literally didn't quite hold up. Chichen Itza, which is some of the pyramids down in Mexico. Petra, which is in Jordan. It's incredible. You see it in which Indiana Jones is it? The last one, Last Crusade. Machu Picchu, Christ the Redeemer, the big statue that you've seen, the Roman Colosseum, and the Taj Mahal. So these are just, they're wonder. You go in front of it, you're just inspired. You're like, how did this happen? This is incredible. And I feel like that's kind of what they were going for with the Elimination Chamber. And I had a list of my own, 7 matches that I thought these are the matches of the wrestling world where any wrestling fan would be lucky to see these before they die. They should be on their bucket list, in my opinion. Some of these are on my personal list because I don't think they'll ever come back. I don't think there's a way to do it safely. I don't think there's a demand for it. But I think that there's still something that when you see on tape now, even on old wrestling footage on the network or on YouTube, you're still kind of blown away. Like, wow, I can't believe they did that in the 70s or the 80s. So I've got my list. This is my number 1 on the list. I was actually going to ask you, Adam, if you wanted to do a Mount Rushmore and allow the fans to vote on it, to who had the better Mount Rushmore of the best 4 gimmick matches of all time as far as like odds.
Everyone's going to vote for you, so what's the point?
Well, yeah, they didn't even vote you for best producer, so I agree with
No,
that. They will
it's
vote for me.
Definitely Ted.
It's definitely so. Ted will win this vote.
Yeah, Ted's
Here's
gonna
my
win the vote.
Here's my 7 wonders of the world. You just tell me. I would like you to go in between, but if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. My number one is the Royal Rumble. I think there's the most incredible match to see live. I don't know if there's a better match that you can see. The anticipation is there from beginning to end. Some Rumbles are better than the others, but there's always who's coming back, who's coming out. It's unfortunate because it's kind of only unique to the WWE, the Rumble itself. There's battle royals done everywhere. One of the ones that I thought about putting on the list was the battle royal that they used to do over at WCW. They had the 2 rings side by side, which I always thought was incredible. Right, you're seeing it on TV and you're just like, wow, that's awesome. But that was a long time ago, and they haven't done that in a while. The Royal Rumble year after year, I think, is probably a match that everyone can't wait to see, and anyone would want to see live. You agree with that?
I mean, yeah, I drove to Arizona to see the Royal Rumble live. So I definitely agree that that's a match that if you haven't seen it, you should try to go to one in your lifetime.
So that's my one on the list. One of 7. Number 2, I've got the Iron Man match. I think the Iron Man match, it's I don't think it's overrated. I think it's underutilized. I think that's probably because people's attention spans today. But if you think about the Iron Man match and its origins, and you think about Brett versus Shawn, right? That kind of set the standard. I don't know if that'll ever be duplicated. I don't know if you can do that again. But if you were to put Daniel Bryan in a ring in a WrestleMania main event versus, I'll let you choose his opponent, Adam. Daniel Bryan's opponent in a Iron Man match for the title, who would it be?
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking someone a little more technical, maybe closer to Bryan's size. But
Randy Orton is one of the best wrestlers of all time. So
all right, so you put those 2 in there in an Iron Man match. I think that would hold people's attention. I think that'd be pretty captivating. I think it'd be pretty hard to top. I know back in the day, 70s, 80s. An hour match wasn't difficult to do. Guys would do it all the time. Go to the time limit, do a draw, and I almost had that on my list as like a 70s or 80s match that goes to the time an hour draw. Because if you're a fan in the crowd, you don't know what's coming, right? It might be typical for someone like Flair to do that, but if you're a fan in the crowd, you have no idea that's coming. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. But I would say the Iron Man match. How do you feel about that? Does that make your 7 wonders, Adam?
Probably not, but they I mean, in the mid 2000s, Punk and Joe had a series of matches that went to 2-hour draws. So it's a thing that can captivate people's interest. It's just not something. It has to be the right people, has to be the right setting. Kenny and Okada went to 2 1-hour draws. So
I like it. But I got Royal Rumble, and that's on your list.
Yeah.
And I've got an Iron Man match on there. What's your number? Give me one more that you have on your 7 wonders.
I've never
list.
seen an Elimination Chamber. That's the one match I still want to see. So
you think that should be on everyone's bucket list? You think that'd be awe-inspiring to do a Elimination Chamber on that list? Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you're not going to see quite often. Like, they only really do it once a year. So it's something everything's oversaturated in WWE now. So it's hard to try to find something that's rare and whatnot. But the Elimination Chamber to me is something that I've always wanted to see live. I just haven't been able to do that yet.
I've always wanted to see it live as well. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm never hyped. They're like, oh, it's Elimination Chamber. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I think when they first did it, the first couple of years, and this is true for a lot of their shows now and a lot of their matches, but they're like, oh, Royal Rumble, we have 2. You're like, oh my God, that's a long 2 matches. Or they'll say, Survivor Series, right? And then there's 8 different teams going on. It's like that's a lot. That's a lot to handle. So I feel like it takes away part of it, but at the same time, it is necessary on these shows, these gimmick shows. Number 3 on my list, my 7 wonders of the world. I don't know how you're going to feel about this one. I've never seen it live. I don't think it'll ever be done again, especially not in the WWE, but I really want to see a Tower of Doom match.
I don't know what that is.
That's the WCW 3 cages stacked on top of each other.
Oh, I will rule you. No, it's not going to happen again.
I think that could absolutely be a fantastic match in the WWE if they had the right guys involved.
Like David Arquette, maybe.
Like David Arquette, yeah, he's one guy that comes to mind. No, but for me, it's spectacle. You're never going to see something like that happen again, in my opinion. I don't think WWE is going to do it, but that's one that I would put on my. What's that?
No, they're never going to do that. You're never going to see that match again.
Why wouldn't you?
That cage is buried deep in the bowels of Stamford, Connecticut right now, never to be seen again.
Why not make a new one? I think it's perfect. There's so many talented guys. You put Ricochet in there, you put Seth in there. So many talented guys that can make that thing work. But I got the Tower of Doom. What do you have in your list, Adam?
I mean, it's cool to see a TLC match live. As a fan, I think that's something. I don't know. Is this for me suggesting stuff to people, or is this for me? Because I've literally seen every kind of match you could possibly see. The Elimination Chamber is literally the only match I've never seen live.
So what is the one that we saw for NXT live? What was that one again?
It was
just a ladder match.
Just a 6-person ladder match was to determine the first North American champion.
So but that's Money in the Bank style, right?
I mean, yeah, if Money in the Bank style to you is just multiple man ladder match, then sure.
Okay, because I have that on my list. I have a multi-man ladder match on the list. Yeah. The two is I feel like it's pretty routine at this point. The multiple man is as well. Obviously, they've got a Money in the Bank show. But I've got the Money in the Bank on my list. I think the amount of spots that can be done, the amount of chaos that goes on. You talk about spectacle.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys just, especially the athletes nowadays, doing the things that they do, it's incredible. So I have Money in the Bank on my list, not a regular ladder match. Then I've got a blue cage match. I like the blue cages. You're not going to see it anymore. The current cages are fine. I want the old blue cage. There's so many spots that I think, again, guys nowadays could do in there where it is more of a spectacle. It's heavy duty. It's harsh on the body. And I think it's pretty incredible. I think the last time they did anything close to it was it the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which they painted black?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the last time they did that?
I mean, yeah, they haven't used that cage in a long time, so probably. I think they might have used them on house shows after that, but...
It's my favorite. I would love to see that one live. So we saw at Taboo Tuesday, we saw Triple H and Ric Flair in a cage match for the IC title. I feel like the only thing that would have made it better for me is the blue cage.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
It would not have been favored by the people in the match, but they could have made you happy, which I think is...
You know what? They're professionals. I feel like they would have enjoyed knowing that for one person in the crowd, it made all the world a difference.
Devin Sparks, a wrestler for the boys.
Yeah. Can you, at this point, I know you're great with graphics now. I just want the picture, the Photoshop picture of Triple H shaking my hand. That's all as you say that, an overlay. Thank you very much. So this one's not really a match. No, I'll do one more. I'll do War Games. That's number 6 on my list. They just brought it back recently. I like the 2 cages, the 2 rings side by side. I think that's the only way to do it. But again, it's a massive spectacle, right? It's essentially two Hell in the Cell matches combined, 2 rings. I think that's something that should be brought back. It's something that's not. It's obviously not done frequently, and
they do it every year. They do it every year now, so it is frequently
with the 2 rings.
Yeah, NXT does a War Games every.
Why did I think the last one I saw was 1 ring? The first one that they did when they came back.
I have no idea.
I'll have to go watch it. So they are doing it every year now. That's official.
I mean, they do. Yeah, they pretty much do one every year around the same time every year. That's why nothing.
Then I need to go. I need to go to that. Then that's one on my bucket list. I need to go to a War Games. I feel like that's great.
When they allow you to go back to shows and you've been vaccinated, then you can go.
They specifically wrote me an email. I'll read it right here. Dear Mr. Sparks, thank you for your consideration in our live events. We have no interest in you attending at this time. Please fuck off. That's not nice.
That sounds like a Vince McMahon email.
Oh, no, that was not. That was Shane. So close. Apple didn't fall too far from the tree. And then my last match that I'm interested in. This is hard because it's not really a match. It's a tournament. I like the King of the Ring style tournament. with the one winner at the end. I think that's great. If I had to kick that off because it didn't count as one match, I like the Survivor Series elimination match. But again, for some reason, it feels like those are different even nowadays. So
Yeah, unfortunately, nothing is special anymore. They've pretty much bastardized everything. So
I had honorable mentions. I had the Elimination Chamber, Ultimate X match, Hell in a Cell. Triple H does one called the Doma de la Muerte. They have a couple. I've seen TNA do or Impact do something similar. I'm trying to remember what they call it though. It looks like a combination of a cage and a elimination chamber.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
Yeah, I looked it up and then forgot to write down. And then the Pujambi prison match, I like that a lot. I think it looks cool. They've never had two guys in it that I think could make work. You don't like that match?
No.
All right. Well, my guess is that
Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal did one. You didn't, and you like both those guys.
I do. I actually like Jinder a lot.
I know you do.
I know. Is that a bad thing?
You're a big Jinder guy.
Is that a bad thing?
I mean, he is what he is. He's fine. Your boy Bobby Lashley might win the title next week.
I heard about that. Why are you taking the eyes off of Jinder? This was his party. This was his time for the spotlight, and you ruined it.
He's sitting and catering with Bo Dallas right now. So
I think here's what I wanted for him. I wanted him to take the title into Mania. This was years ago, obviously now. And everyone gets their special Mania entrance. I wanted him to come out with a big fake elephant, riding a big fake elephant.
Man, that would have been cool.
It would have been cool. It would have been a spectacle. When he won the title, he did this like amazing. It was like a big celebration. I don't know if you remember it, but they had dancers and I think they were doing like acrobats and stuff like that. And the only thing that was missing was a big fake elephant. The California Adventure used to have an Aladdin show, and they used to have big fake elephants. I went to the Lion King in Broadway. They had a big fake elephant. So it can be done. It can be done. Put the guy on top of it. Let him ride out.
I think what we know is that Vince McMahon hates elephants. I think that's what we've come down to.
I don't think you're wrong.
You know who he beat for the title, right? Randy Orton.
Yeah, I'm aware.
One of the best of all time.
Yeah, Jinder is. I agree. One of the best of all time.
Talk about Randy Orton. And I'm not here to debate anybody. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about. I saw the Elimination Chamber going up, and I thought to myself, damn it. That's a really good match, but there's better. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Speaking of the Elimination Chamber, Kevin Owens gave a nice shout out today to all the people who put up the ring and stuff like that, all the production workers and whatnot, people who go way under the radar in almost every promotion, people who put up the ring, people who put up the lights, all those people. So if you're
that's awesome.
Listening,
that's awesome. I'll say that's awesome. He would shout out NXT like that. Good for them.
How am I supposed to respond to that? I don't even know. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
They did on the network a couple of years ago. They were showing the NXT guys. I forget what the show was called. You probably remember. But it was behind the scenes. It followed them to shows and stuff, and then it showed the workers putting up the ring.
Yeah, like on the house shows, and the NXT guys used to do that. I don't think they do it anymore.
Right. They just do it for the bigger shows, like Elimination Chamber.
It was called Breaking Ground, by the way.
Breaking Ground. That was a great show.
It was very good. Still on the network.
Yeah, but it needs something updated.
What do you want to see? People training in COVID times with Shawn Michaels?
Yes, I do. I really do. I want to see that. I want to see Dom going over his matches.
Then you could just go to Level Up in San Diego, California.
That's where I was leading in. Thank you for that. Yep. Not a sponsor, but Level Up Training School. You can find them on IWTV right now. They've got shows running. They're recording, I think, weekly, basically. I was hoping to be there for a recording this week, but I'm going to be there too late. Double booked. Can't do it.
Yeah.
So follow them online, follow their matches, pay for the shows on IWTV. Anything else, Adam?
Where are you booked this weekend? Talk about that.
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood with with my boy Mike Camden. That's why we will be in person, hopefully recording Hogscast OG, as long as Adam is feeling better. Otherwise, it'll be back to the old ways with Mike and I recording on his phone, which is fine, I suppose. That's why he was nominated as producer, best producer for a Golden Hog. But you have the Golden Hog, not Mike. So
That's true. I am the Golden Hoggy award-winning producer. Who's not a
you can put
producer?
that on your LinkedIn account, by the way.
I have it on my OnlyFans account.
The Golden Hog.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the top level tier.
probably. Yeah, you got to pay an extra like $50 for that.
So what are the tiers? You've got NPA. Your first tier is NPA. That's $3 a month.
$3 a month.
Then you have PA
PA.
for $8 a month.
Yeah,
And then for $58 a month, you have the Golden Hog.
the Golden Hog, and that's where you get nice producer Adam.
Oh. Is that what NPA is now? Nice producer Adam?
I don't know. You're the one who does all this shit. You decide what my name is to people.
Well, I think we should let them decide. That's what we should do. Adam, can you put up what if their new name for you is just Ted?
I mean, I'm sure it would be. Everyone loves Ted more anyway.
That's
Sorry,
true.
sorry, I never did a podcast with Jeff Goldblum. Everybody,
I'm sorry too. Could you imagine where your career would be right now?
I wouldn't be doing this shit with you.
I know. I apologize. I wish I had done Jurassic Park. I didn't have the foresight at 8 years old.
You were in Jurassic Park.
I was.
Yeah, in the scene where Jeff Goldblum looks at the big pile of shit.
No. That wasn't me. That was my match. That was one of my matches.
Looked a lot like you.
Shit. It does look a lot like it looks like my work. Sloppy and shitty.
It was Agatha all along.
It was Agatha all along. God damn. What a great swerve.
Was it a swerve? Was it a swerve?
Oh, yeah, for a lot of people.
People have literally been predicting it since the first episode that's who
yeah, anyone who's into the MCU. My wife was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I just was, is it?
No, not to me.
Well, it was Agatha all along.
The new
MPA all along.
The new Spider-Man movie comes out Christmas Day. They're still saying
Fantastic.
they're still saying it's going to be in theaters.
No one will see it in theaters. GameStop is a thing again. Did you see that?
Yeah, Fry's went out of business too.
No shit. Are you serious?
Yeah, you didn't see all that?
No.
A bunch of people you follow were talking about it. I don't know why you didn't.
Who do I follow that was talking about it? Seamus?
Chris Terry was talking about it. I think Yuma talked about it.
Oh shit.
Maybe you should go on the internet one of these days.
Oh man, that's just I can't do that. They permanently closed all stores. That's terrible. I used to work there. I did loss prevention
with
there.
Seamus.
With Seamus. Yeah. Me and my boy Shamey. He just calls himself Shame Dog. But yeah, man. One of the things, fun fact about all the Fry's electronics, they all have a different theme. When you go inside, they're all a different theme. Not anymore. Now the theme is empty. So
apparently that's been the theme for a long time. Apparently people who have gone in there for the last couple of years have noticed that the shelves are basically empty.
Well, the good news is there's going to be a lot more room for those Halloween stores and the spirit stores. There's going to be so many more in your town when you're looking to dress up this year for Halloween. But rest in peace. Give a 10-bell salute to Fry's Electronics.
Jeff Bezos strikes again.
What do you do? Oh, Amazon.
Yeah,
he created a monster.
Yeah. Why do you think Fry's went out of business? Why do you think Toys R Us went out of business? Amazon.
Yeah, and Best Buy, right? They just undercut their deals by $0.015.
Nah, Best Buy is always going to be around.
I don't know. Are they?
Yeah, I mean, probably.
They were essentially Fry's. Radio Shack went out of business. Fry's went out of business. Isn't Best Buy the last man standing?
They are, but they still. I don't think Fry's was selling PS5s this year. Best Buy made a lot of money off PS5s.
I mean, not enough to keep the doors open.
I don't know. I still see.
Hey guys, we have 4 PS5s in stock. Come get them.
No, Best Buy was the one that was the most consistent having stuff in stock. That's where I got mine. Like every other place was like selling out in like 30 seconds. Everything else was disorganized. Best Buy was the one that was like, yeah, you can get one. You just got to work for it. You got to do the work, right, buddy?
I've got news for you. Okay. Their stock price right now is at $113.
Best Buy?
Best Buy stock price is at
pretty good, right?
$113. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. 6 months ago, it dropped to just below 110 to 107. Actually, they've been pretty consistent. I'm surprised. Interesting. But like I said, GameStop is a thing again. We talked about that before. They were in the news for with the was it Congress or something like that? Was interviewing him, trying to figure out what the hell happened. The guy who started it, I think his name is Deep Fucking Value or Roaring Kitty. He's got two like internet names that they are calling him by on these things. And then today GameStop stock went through the roof again. So who knows what's going on that end? I'm sure I'll be glued to my TV, but that's all I've got, man. That's it. I'm winded. I've done my whole 2 segments on TV, and I'm about to call it, brother.
You giving the Iggy?
I'm giving the Iggy. So duck the line, schoolboy. Let's go home.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me. As Mike likes to say, if you want the tip, you got to take the whole hog. I'm gonna leave that whole thing in there for him since we didn't do Hogscast OG this week. Other than that, we're out of here. Look for some new episodes next week. Sayonara.